Hello, my name is Tim, my company is Sports and Touring, and we are performance Jaguar specialists. Now, of course, in the line of our work, we buy and sell a lot of Jaguars, but we take part exchange cars from time to time as well. And that's how we come to have this Cupra Formentor in our lineup. It's a car which matches enormous practicality with a truly thrilling driving experience and at a very favourable price point and cost of ownership. This one is in great condition, and it is my pleasure to show you around. A lot of SUVs and crossovers look very similar these days, and Cupra obviously know that and have thought about it, because there are certain styling touches on the Formentor which address the issue head on. The, I have to say, quite aggressive badge in the middle of the grille, the angular nature of that grille, which is reflected then as well in these beautiful headlamps, and the purposeful air intakes just in front of the front wheels, all go very nicely with the two-tone treatment of the skirt at the side of the car, which goes over the wheel arches, of course, and the wing mirror. And they fly alongside these beautiful 19-inch alloy wheels in two-tone diamond turned and dark matte grey. It's a very, very effective aesthetic, I have to say, which takes what is ultimately a five-seat, I dare say maybe family car, and turns it into something much more purposeful. And that's before you get to the rear end and you see those quad tailpipes, which are definitely a statement about this car's turn of speed. It's a powerful thing, of course, 310 PS, 310 horsepower under the bonnet, all-wheel drive, and very impressive handling and dynamics and stability. This is a car which comes together and has pleased motoring journalists in a most satisfactory way. And this example, as I say, is in very fine condition. You'll know that we have high standards here at Sports and Touring, and particularly any part exchange vehicles have to live up to those standards, or they simply don't find a place in our lineup. Well, this Formentor is in gorgeous order. The paintwork, all of the details, inside and out, it is very fine indeed. On which note, let's take a look in the cabin. We'll supply the car, of course, with 2 remote key fobs and the owner's book pack, but keyless entry is one of the features, so long as the key is somewhere about your person, it's in my pocket there, you can just grasp the door handle and pull, and the car unlocks. The power fold mirrors move out into position, and we are into this beautiful cockpit. A stylish place to be. There are lots of design touches, including this lovely contrast stitching that runs through, and the design here, which is mirrored for our detailed investigation on the door card there. Lovely hand stitching with those interesting geometric shapes. There's a handy stowage there, the rear tailgate release, and it's a powered tailgate, by the way, so that goes up and down on its own powered struts. And we've got the mirror and window controls there, along with a very stylish door handle design and that lovely illuminated strip at the top of the door. Panning around into the cockpit, the illuminated tread plates are there with the Cupra logo, and on the side of the seat controls, fully electric on this one with 3 memory settings as well. And there in the footwell you can see these lovely stainless pedals with their rubber grip pads on them as well. Sitting down into the Formentor cockpit, and we will instantly fire up the 2-litre engine using the start button on the steering wheel unusually, so foot on brake and press, and we see the engine come to life. The dashboard illuminates, the headlamps do their little self-test. I'm looking outside the car and seeing that. And we can examine what we have in here. Well, starting with the armrest between the 2 seats, which reveals, of course, a handy cubbyhole with a 12-volt socket. And it also latches in position, so you can actually rest your arm there while you're driving. Very handy. You can adjust the height at which that stops. We've got the twin cup holders, electronic parking brake, and then this neat drive selector. So we're in park at the moment, but pulling it back we are into drive stroke sport, and then we can shift back into neutral and reverse and so on, like so. We'll put it back into park for the moment and move forward from there and see the two USB-C power supplies there, and that is a charging pad. So this car of course has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. All you need to do once you've paired your phone with the vehicle to start with is place your phone there on that pad, and it charges wirelessly and feeds the CarPlay system. Up from there to the air vents and hazard warning light, and then this big central electronic display. I'm not going to go through all of it because we would be here for a very long time indeed, but let's just say that this is a very fully featured infotainment system indeed. And this car also benefits from a fabulous stereo system. We'll talk more about that in a moment. Easy to use. We just touch the screen for the control that you're after. The hotkeys along the bottom take you directly to various functions. And by the way, the temperature controls, you can just see perhaps there the blue and red dashes indicating that we adjust the temperature up and down with this bar in the middle here. Over to the steering wheel, and there's a lot going on here. We've got a very comprehensive buttonry on the left and right thumb pads. The right hand side deals with the display in front of the driver. The left hand side deals with the cruise control and the audio system. There you've got your driving mode selector, so we can cycle through the various vehicle modes. Flappy paddles, of course, for shifting gear, although as many reviewers have said, the automatic box in this car is so good you really don't need to be using those unless you're desperate to shift gear manually. Headlamps over on the left hand side, rain sensitive wipers on the right hand stalk. And then down here by my right knee, an interesting treatment for the exterior lights. So they are all there on a touch panel, and you can see at the moment we're in auto mode with the side lights and dipped headlights illuminated. Everything in very fine order. The steering wheel is unblemished, the cockpit is in fabulous condition. This stitching and the beautiful design touches around the car, all in very good condition indeed, and a testament to this car having been carefully looked after by its previous owners. I'm tempted to go through all of the various view modes and so forth on the display here. I'll just flick through a couple of them. You can go from really quite minimal displays to very comprehensive displays, including that display which perhaps would be ideal if you were on the racetrack with the car, and what an exciting thing to do that would be. Okay, we'll switch off and take a look around the rest of the interior. So having examined things from the driver's perspective, we can take a look at the rear offside passenger door, again in perfect condition, as is the rest of the rear passenger compartment. These seats, I dare say, have very seldom been sat in. They do, of course, come with 3 headrests in case you're carrying 3 rear seat passengers. There's also, if you have 2 passengers in the back, a handy armrest there with cup holders in it. There are ISOFIX points as well if you've got kids to take along, easy to put the kids' seats in. And there at the centre console you've got temperature control for the rear seat occupants, and again another 2 USB-C power charging sockets. A very comfortable place to be, the back of this Cupra, I can tell you. Moving around, and we have the tailgate here with the Cupra logo again. Press the button and that rises up to reveal a cavernous boot area. It really is a very large space indeed. The rear seats, of course, fold forward. They fold forward 60-40, so you can have a combination of 2 rear seat passengers and long items next to them, for example. Parcel shelf removes very easily. And this is where we come to talk about the sound system. So an aftermarket Alpine sound system in this car. It really does sound very crisp and loud if you want it to. There's great definition from this stereo system. I've enjoyed listening to my music in this car as much as I've enjoyed driving the car itself. And if you want to remove that bass speaker here, it's very easy to do so. The compartment there on the top has the electric connections. Simply pull the speaker forward lift the cover on the top there, disconnect it, tuck the wires away, and you can then have the full enormous size of this boot with the rear seats down. Have a look at the photos, please, in the advert to see the size of the Cupra boot with the rear seats down, and it's a cavernous space, I dare say. Again, everything in here in fabulous order. The carpet is correct. There are no nasty stains, no smells. It's clearly been looked after very carefully. And the same story is true here on the near side. The near side rear door card is unblemished. The rear seat here in very fine condition. Again, hardly ever used, I dare say. And the same true of the front door card. Very good condition, as is the rest of the cockpit on the front passenger side. The dashboard, centre console, carpet and mat, and again this beautiful heated seat with the leather in very fine order indeed. Under the bonnet, and there is the 2-litre power plant, 4 cylinders, and breathing through that turbocharger at the back there, which helps it to produce 310 horsepower and drive this Formentor from 0 to 60 in just 4.9 seconds and on to a top speed of 155 miles per hour. And it does those things and yet achieves a combined MPG of 36.6. And I would dare say that if you need a practical vehicle which can move people and stuff around effortlessly and yet is very engaging to drive, then there is an awful lot about this Cupra Formentor to suggest that it's the perfect choice. Pistonheads described it as being like a Golf R on stilts. You know, it sits very slightly higher up off the road, but boy, oh boy, it delivers exactly the kind of highly engaging driving experience which the Golf R offers. And in fact, I've enjoyed my time in the cockpit of the Cupra rather more than I do in the Golf. Again, you can see everything here is correct and clean and crisp. Excellent service history, and this car has passed all of our inspections. It drives absolutely perfectly. Everything is functioning just as it should be, and it is ready and waiting to please its next keeper. So thank you very much indeed for watching. It's been an enormous pleasure to show you this beautiful Cupra Formentor. We're Sports and Touring. We're just outside Andover in Hampshire, open 7 days a week by appointment only. You're very welcome to telephone, email or WhatsApp us if you've got any questions, or if you'd like to see the car in person or by video call. It'll be our pleasure to send you a link to the Google Drive. That's our online folder for this car with higher resolution photos which you can zoom in on and PDF copies of important documents. If you've got a car to dispose of on your buying journey, we'll give you frank and honest advice about the best way to achieve the maximum value at the minimum inconvenience. And if you'd like to chat about finance, we can do that as well. We're authorised and regulated by the FCA, and we work with a really brilliant broker. Do please take a few moments to read our reviews in Auto Trader. I'm very proud indeed of the things that our previous customers say about us. And I'll close by saying thank you again. Feel free to like and subscribe to us here on YouTube. And we will look forward to hearing from you very soon. Contact details coming next.